Sylvie the Irish Scrapper back with a new tutorial for you today. I want to show you how you make your own embossing diffusers. Rangers sell them, but they're quite easy to make yourself. And what I do is I save, when you get the package of pre-creased cards from Do Crafts or whoever sells them, there's always a piece of a cardboard, I say Do Crafts, so that was off the back of one of theirs. There's always strong cardboard and I always save that. So without further ado, I will show you how I make my ones. So what you need is, you need the embossing folder that you're going to use, and you cut your card to the size of the embossing folder. I'm just hoping now that my craft knife will cut through that and that I don't have to go looking or getting my guillotine out. And it would help if I did it on not my craft mat. I will do it here. Just beside me there's a cutting mat, luckily. So I'm going to cut along here. There we go. That was fairly painless. So I have the piece of card the same size roughly as my embossing folder. You don't have to be particularly fussy. The next thing then you do, what you want to do is find out what part or how much of your actual embossing area you want to be embossed free. So if you wanted to do a sentiment or you wanted to do a focal point, pick the size area that you want to emboss free and you put your die cut down on top of it. But obviously we don't want to die cut this out. So what I'm going to do is, well actually you could die cut it out, it wouldn't matter a damn really, because I'm going to be taking the middle out of it anyway. You need your machine, whichever machine you have. I'm using the Grand Caliber today, and I need my base plate, and then I'm going to use a little bit of tape to hold the die in place. Make sure it's where you want it to be. I think about there. And then you take your embossing mat and your embossing plate and you run it through. And we can get rid of these out of the way now, we don't need those again. So what this does is it actually gives you the imprint of the die cut on your cardboard, and you go ahead then, you're going to have to move to here again, and you cut out what you don't want of it. This way. You could use a scissors if you're not confident with the craft knife. So you remove that piece. Now you can save that as well, because you can use that to diffuse in a different way. Sorry, now it's still a little bit caught here. And it's okay, you don't have to be extremely exact with this. It's only been used as a diffuser. So okay, what we're going to do now is to get our embossing folder and our card. And you place the embossing folder over the card and line it up. Then you take your diffuser and you place it over the card exactly where you want the blank area to be. And let me bring back in the machine and we'll go ahead and emboss the card. So I need my base plate. And my embossing plate, and I'll just run those through the grand caliper. It's a bit tight, but was the right plate? It was, yeah, the base plate. It's just because the cardboard is so strong. Actually, the pink plate has moved. That's what's wrong. Oh, I think obviously there's something wrong with my plates here. Do you know the last time I did it, I actually did it in the big shot. So I think what I'll do is I'll just run over, we'll pause for a second, I'll run over and get the big shot. And what I'm using here is the multi-purpose platform with the shim solo adapter, it's called, on top of it. And then just the card, the embossing folder, the diffuser, and one of your cutting platforms. Let me run that through. So it's true what they say about the grand caliper. If it doesn't go through, it's not meant to. So stop. So as you can see, when we remove the shim, we've got a complete blank area here. Now what you could do if you wanted to is you could take your die cut again, place it over the area like that. Kind of line it up as best you can. I just want to give the actual thing an outline. I wouldn't use the solo shim for this because we don't want to cut through the card. We just want to give it a little rim on the outside. Okay, it's going to need a little bit more pressure than that, so I'll put a piece of card in with it. No, it's still not good enough. Double layer of card and go back through and see. Yeah, I still don't think that was enough, but I'm not going to mess about with it. You can mess about with your own machine and see No, it didn't really give any impression. But now we have a blank area on our card and the rest of the card has been embossed. So I'm just quickly going to stamp into it just for the sake of having a finished card. And I think what I'll do is I'll stamp this little tree into the middle of it with Versamark as it's here in front of me. And I have some black embossing powder. So I ink up my stamp with the homemade Versamark, which hasn't been used in a while and it's still nice and juicy. And I'll stamp the tree into the middle here. And put some of the embossing powder on it. As usual, then you have to clear away any of the bits that you don't want. There's a few little bits here. I should have used my homemade embossing buddy. And then what I like to do is, there's still a few bits there that I don't want. Of course, it could have been any image. This stamp was just the hand. Let your heat tool get a bit hot. So if it's not hot, it tends to blow away the powder. And I'll just take it from the back first and gently heat it. And then come to the front. And that stops the embossing powder from blowing away. If you work it from the back to the front as well, it stops the card from warping. There we go, I think that's embossed enough. So really I needed that to show you that to have a blank area in the middle of your card is handy for putting your sentiment or your image. So have a go at making your own homemade diffusers. You can use any shape you like. I've done them in square, and use up your die cuts, and you can have a selection of them at hand for when they're needed. So the Irish Scrapper saying join me again real soon for another tutorial.